UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is the coming great deception. But when we go up, they come down. When we go up, they show up. I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. I want to be talking, and I want to thank Project Incision. They're over on Rumble. I got this. Someone sent the link to me, and I'm going to run their little interview here. It's about 2 minutes long, and we'll get into that. First, a word from our trusted sponsor. You probably think your 401k is safe, that it's growing, that it'll be enough for your retirement. But what if it's not? Here's the truth, folks. Your 401k was never designed to make you wealthy. It was created in a corporate boardroom to shift retirement costs and investment risks onto you. Designed to keep your money trapped, exposed to Wall Street crashes, inflation, and uncertainty you can't control. Until now. Folks, Americans are taking back control by turning to real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands protect your future by converting part of their retirement savings into physical gold. Talk to Noble Gold today and learn how safe and easy it is to roll over your 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit, including a step-by-step guide to get started. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. It's time to get your money out of the danger zone and into something real. And folks, get rewarded for getting started. Open a qualified account at noblegoldinvestments.com, and Noble Gold will send you 2 5-ounce Silver America, the beautiful coins free. Once again, folks, noblegoldinvestments.com. So I'm gonna run the clip here, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. And I think you'll find this interesting. Here we go.
And as they were going out the door, we had our the woman Justine, that is our kind of our special person within Malone.news that focuses on UAPs. So she was there, and she just couldn't help herself. She asked, do you know anything about the UAPs? And one of them piped up and said, in the investigation, she said, well, I can't talk about it because I'm actively involved in supporting those investigations, but I can tell you that a lot more activity is happening now. My God, that's data point number 1, and that they're real. Okay. Data point number 2, I'm talking to my friend and mentioned this while we were on the boat, and he says, Bobby at a briefing, and all this stuff is true. Roswell, all those things, the reverse engineering, the origin of the night vision, a whole bunch of this tech comes out of reverse engineering recovered material. And so stay tuned on that. It sounds like there's absolutely there. And we can look forward to, as you're talking about the future, we can look forward to learning a lot more about what the heck is going on with these, whether they're time travelers and they're humans coming back, or they're from another dimension, or they're whatever, fill in the blank. But apparently it's real.
This is really important to me, this particular clip. I can't vet any of it. It's all hearsay. It's all secondhand information. You know, Bobby Kennedy allegedly said this. I mean, how do you even run with that kind of stuff? I will say this. Colonel Corso came out with a book the day after Roswell, and I read that when it came out over a decade ago now. A lot of UFO researchers poo-pooed it. I did not. I believe it was the beginning of disclosure on some level, sort of a deathbed confession. He lived for maybe a little over a year after he published the book. He talked about the back engineering. He talked about the craft at Roswell. And here's the deal. It is all real. You know, night vision stuff allegedly was back engineered. Fiber optics was allegedly back engineered from pieces of the craft that they got from Roswell. So we went to Roswell. Hello, there's our film. Do your homework. because I can't get into an hour's worth of research. I can tell you this. See this right here? This little piece of metal. We dug it out of the field. We are the only film company that I'm aware of, as my caveat, on the planet that has ever recorded on film the actual exhumation, if I can use that word, of the metal from a debris field. Other people have gone to the debris field, but they've never shown the metal actually coming out. They've either buried the metal themselves, and we got that from Frank Himmler. I won't mention any other names, but Frank saw it and was really ticked off when that happened. Chuck Zukowski told me that, and he did it right here on this show, that we're the only film company to ever record metal coming up out of the ground. Frank Himmler found it on his metal detector, and I just want to show you this. I'm going to really push in here so you guys can see this. That's the piece of metal right there. I cover my mug here, but there it is right there. That's the piece of metal that we took out of a debris field. That is literally the metal. It was buried about 8 inches. We took it to Seal Lab, and we had it formerly called Seal Lab, and we had it tested. And all we know is that it's an aluminum alloy, but it's right in between two alloys. And we got this. Frank Himmler tested his metal. Chuck Zukowski. Both of these guys are friends and great researchers. They tested their metal too. It's right in between two known aluminum alloys. So essentially, it's an unknown aluminum alloy. What do you do with that? More testing needs to be done. That's all I can tell you. So Roswell, in my opinion, was a real event. It was not a weather balloon. With all due respect to people who have made films on this, I won't mention any names, have gone on the record stating over and over again, it's either a weather balloon or secret Nazi craft. Read, and we have this in the film, evidence from the debris field. We actually have it in the film. There's a deathbed confession by Walter G. Haut, H-A-U-T. You can Google this online and read it for yourself. We feature it in the film. Why? Because it was opened up after his death. He says several things in that deathbed affidavit, as it were, to be opened up after his demise. And so Mr. Haut basically states that there was a briefing. Jesse Marcel Sr. was there. Jim Rainey was there. He was there, as well as other people. And they were passing around. They were in a private room, a briefing room. There was a typical long table, and they're passing around artifacts from the crash. And no one had ever seen anything like it. So I get it. Nazi Bell, well, you can go there if you want to, but I'm not buying that for a second. It is what Colonel Haut said it was in his deathbed affidavit. He was ushered into Hangar 84. We filmed in Hangar 84. We got in there. It's all in the film, and that's just the Lord opening up doors for us. But we filmed in Hangar 84. And Haut said on the record, deathbed affidavit, that he saw the craft. He saw the damaged craft that was there in Hangar 84. It was about 20 feet in diameter, something like this, classic disc, about 20 feet in diameter. He also saw the bodies that were under a trap. How many times do we have to hear this before it begins? By eyewitnesses, people with deathbed confessions. In the film, Roswell Exoneration, we also talk about this. Jesse Marcel Sr. was the fall guy. He knows what he picked up. He came back to his house, woke up his wife, awakened his wife and his son, and said, look at this debris. You'll probably never see anything like it again. It's from a craft from another world. What do you do with that? And he's the fall guy. Oh, it's just a weather balloon. And they repeat the lie over and over and over again. Roswell was a real event. There's no doubt about that. Roswell was not a weather balloon. I'll just restate this again. It was not Nazi technology. It was something from another world. How do we know this? We had Jesse Marcel Sr., who decades later comes on the record and tells us what he saw. He also states in our film, Exoneration, which these two films are a must-see because it blows the lid off of the whole Roswell deal. We actually talked to Jesse Marcel Jr.'s widow, and his daughter and other people. It's real investigative journalism. You can go to streaming.lamarzulli.net For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you can download the film and watch it. Now, that doesn't mean you keep it, but you download it. If you want the DVD, lamarzulli.com. And I would, do your homework. That's why Gil Zimmerman and I spent the time to go there. And I want to thank our donors who help finance some of these trips. And I just thank you for that. It keeps us, on the cutting edge, as it were. So you've got Jesse Marcel Jr., who I did a handwritten interview with. We dramatized that in the film. And Jesse Marcel Jr. stated on the record, he handled the wreckage, that his family was thrown into a sort of a tizzy, as it were, because Jesse Marcel Sr. was made the phone guy. And Jesse Marcel Sr., years later, decades later, he's in the debris field, maybe for the first time since the incident, okay? And he looks right at the camera and says, they wanted me to talk in the microphone, but that's not what I did. And General Ramey is there, and he's talking about all this. And then Marcel Sr. says something which is so telling. Major, I'm sorry, give me a second. General Ramey stated that it was nothing more than a weather balloon. And then Marcel Sr. kind of looks at the camera and goes, but we both knew differently. Now, what do you do with a statement like that? What do you do with a statement like that? So it's a cover-up. This whole thing is one big stinking cover-up. And it continues to be a cover-up today. So Bobby Kennedy gets some information. Whee! Those of us who've been studying this for decades, it's all old news. Okay? Congress gets up there and they do their dog and pony show. And nothing will happen. They're never going to get to anything. Why? Because the people that control the information will not let it out. This is how you solve this whole problem. It's real easy. And Mr. Vance, Vice President Vance, J.D. Vance, if you're watching this, you've got the power, because we have a president right now. And by the way, I voted for Mr. Trump. You've got the power in your hands. And this is what you do. You simultaneously create two different task forces. Mr. Vance, you go to one. Mr. Trump goes to another. They are surrounded by military personnel. Also, there are boots on the ground that go to Area 51 and Wright-Patterson Field, because those two places are where the stuff is. And you just show up and you go, I'm the President of the United States. I don't care about need to know. I want to see what you have. And you go in there with a full-blown military escorts and cameras rolling. That's how you get to the bottom of it, because we already know what's going on. They retrieved the craft. They brought the craft. They flew the craft from Roswell to Wright-Patterson Field. How many times do we have to hear that? The bodies are in Roswell. The bodies that were there in Roswell that Colonel Hart saw, right? They were from the right path. How many times do we have to hear it? That's what you do. You create a task force. Mr. Trump, President Trump goes to one place. Vice President, Mr. Vance, goes to the other. Roswell, you go to Wright-Patterson Field, Area 51. Full-blown military escort. If it was me, I'd have armed forces there to the tune of at least 500 men at both locations. Because it's the only way you're ever going to see anything. Because the powers that be, the deep state, has kept this sub rosa, has kept it away from pretty much everybody, including all of our ex-presidents. They don't know anything. How can they do this? How can they possibly make this happen? This is not the stuff of conspiracy theory. It's not. I do not wear my tinfoil hat. Thank you, Karen Wilkinson. This has nothing to do with tinfoil hat stuff. It has nothing to do with conspiracy theory. Those two places have the bodies, literally. They've got the craft. And that's what needs to be done. Because, Congress can tap dance around this, till the cows come home. They can do the Texas two-step until they have no, leather on their shoes anymore. Ain't going to change doodly squat. Just like what we see. Well, we can go to a skiffle, I can tell you. Thank God we've got whistleblowers like Luis Elizondo. Thank God for David Grush. I get all that. And they're risking everything. But the way to get to the bottom of it, and get to the bottom of it very quickly, without any nonsense, is to do what I suggested. You just show up with a full-blown military escort. You got 500 people, boots on the ground. They show up to Wright Pat. They show up to Area 51. Unannounced. Unannounced. You don't give them time to hide the stuff. And you go, we want to see what you got here. And be prepared to spend a couple of days at Wright Pat. That place is huge. Be prepared. Be prepared when you go to Area 51. Be prepared. Think about Bob Lazar coming on the record, risking essentially everything. What did Bob Lazar say? What was his statement? That he was back engineering a propulsion system to alien craft. He saw a craft hovering. He saw a craft hovering over the ground, right? At S4. Folks, it's real. They've known about it, and the American people, the people of the world, have a right to know. So that's it. That's it. I would suggest going to streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. Avail yourself of these two films. So for under $10, you can watch both of them. Do your homework. I've scratched the surface here. It'll blow your mind. We've interviewed a lot of people. It's real investigative journalism because we are boots on the ground talking to the people that were there or as close to the event as we possibly can. We also show General Ramey holding the telegram, all right? And later on, David Ridniak, I might be mispronouncing his name, forgive me, took that with computer enhancement, and we show this in the film. It clearly says disc, bodies, Wright Pat. There's been a cover-up. There's only two people on the planet that I know that can get to the bottom of it. One is our president, Donald J. Trump. The other one is J.D. Vance. Both of these men have the power, and you know that they're interested in it. And that's the way you do it. You show up unannounced with a task force, cameras rolling, 500 men, everybody's armed. It's not going to be a Mexican standoff. I'm the president. I'm coming in right now. I want to see what you got. You can't announce it because they'll hide everything. That's how you make it happen. If you're watching this and you're a Washington insider, pray about it, think about it, getting this over to Mr. Vance and Mr. Trump. Because Congress can, like I said, the dog and pony show has been going on now for several years. And the dog and pony show will continue to go on. And it's one big nothing burger. That's all it is. And it will be that nothing burger until those two places, right, Pat Field and Area 51, are opened up and exposed. Thanks for watching. I am L.A. Marzulli. UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is the coming great deception. But when we go up, they come down. When we go up, they show up. Thanks for watching.